Sairam, everyone. Sorry, last week I had to drop off and I had some challenges in connecting, but I was able to catch up with the videos which was posted. So just to recollect what was being discussed, the Swami is talking about today's pracharakas, the people who expound on the Gita, that they lack experiential understanding. And Swami says even those who listen to such people are not evaluating, not inquiring whether these people are experientially knowledgeable. And those who listen also not putting anything into practice. I think those were some of the thoughts which came through in the discussion. So I will stop here. If anyone feels that there's something more which you would like to add to this summary, please do so. Otherwise, we'll continue from where we left off. Saira. Auntie, Mani Auntie, you think anything else to?
Yeah, we had one problem while discussing the first 19th chapter. Okay. In Telugu, the second paragraph. Can you go to the second paragraph, Arun?
Yes, Auntie.
In the last line, third one.
I think I understand where you are talking about. Sare, Chappuvar Matram.
That one.
Anubhava Rupamuna, Anandichunnara. I think
Anandichunnarani Vinuvarunu Acharinchakunnaru.
No, the thing is, Auntie, I think the version which you have may be missing a few words. So what the online version which I have says this what it reads like. I will just read it. Sare, Chappuvare Matramu, E Geetha Dharmamunu, Anubhava Rupamuna, Anandi Chunnara Ani, Okkaraina Vicharincha Kunnaru.
That makes it very clear.
Vinuvarunu Acharincha Kunnaru.
Vinuvarunu
Acharinchaka Unnaru.
Acharinchaka Unnaru. They are not asking whether they really have gone the experiential knowledge.
Yeah,
that's what.
So two things Swami is saying, I think. Okkaraina Vicharincha Kunnaru. That is, people are not inquiring whether the pracharakas who are expounding the Gita, whether they have experientially experienced the ananda which comes from the practice of Gita.
Yeah.
No one is inquiring. And although also the people who listen, Vinuvarunu, Acharincha Kunnar, means they are not also practicing.
Yeah. Vinuvarunu kuda Acharincha Kunnaru. Vinuvaru kuda, the listeners also are not practicing.
Yeah. So I think that's...
that was one sentence which we had some problem.
Yeah, I heard that discussion.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
So I think we can continue from where we left off. I think Kalyani, Sister Armada.
Sarah, speakers who are out to spread the Gita have multiplied nowadays, and as a consequence, a variety of interpretations, most of them far removed from the genuine one, have emanated, clouding the true significance. Interpretations follow the nature and character of the exponent. Once an opinion is formed, he tries to buttress it with appropriate arguments and prove all others wrong. It is then repeated parrot-like on every occasion. No attempt is made to practice the Gita and make it part of one's actual life. Such persons pretend to be great Gita pracharakas, exponents of speakers of Gita, and go about heavy with the burden of credentials and titles. They ruin themselves by this deception and undermine the trust placed on the Gita. The words of God are each one for translation into actual life, not for scattering into the ears of men to reap fame. But the times have gone so awry that they are today misused for acquiring publicity and praise. Those who listen to the expositions of these pracharaks, and are also neglecting to question the bona fides. They do not care to examine whether the persons who extol the Gita to the skies have tasted the sweetness of its teachings. Words and deeds are far apart. They exhort others, but those who are exhorted find that the teachers do not themselves follow the lesson. No, not even 1 in a million. There are some who boast that they have the entire Gita on the tip of the tongue, that they can roll out on the spot any shloka from the Gita which you want to hear, if only the chapter and number are given. Or they can quote chapter and number for any phrase or word you give. I am inclined to laugh when such scholarship is exhibited. Poor tongue, that it should carry so much on its tip without any of it being absorbed in actual life. A gramophone record can repeat as well as they, and with equal benefit to itself. Practicing one's verse, it certainly yields more benefit than learning all the verses by rote and retaining them in memory. Arjuna proved every word of Krishna true by practicing it. His sincerity won him the grace of Krishna.
Thank you, sister. So I think it was, these are the paragraphs which were read and discussed, I guess, last week. Does anyone have something to add or discuss? Would like to discuss something?
I don't think we went through the Telugu.
No, yeah, the last paragraph we did not go through.
Okay, Auntie, then we'll go through.
A gramophone record can repeat as well as they and with equal benefit to itself. How does the gramophone record gets the benefit? Because by repeating again and again, it is getting the benefit, not the persons, is it?
I think the benefit of the people who repeat is same as the benefit which gramophone record gets. I think that's what Swami says.
Yes, Swami, I think he's saying that, just repeating it, a recorder can do it. So what's the benefit, kind of, right? In a sense.
So the benefit of the gramophone record is the benefit of the people who are repeating it.
Same, yeah.
So there's no benefit?
I think so.
With equal benefit to itself.
I think it's a bit of a sarcasm there. So.
Actually, the gramophone record is getting benefit more than this. People who repeat.
Is the Telugu which has to be read, Auntie, or no?
I think I did not read it. Yeah. ఒక్కొక్కరు చెప్పుచుందరు గీత నాకు పూర్తి కంఠస్థము వచ్చునని ఏ అధ్యాయమైనా ఏ శ్లోకం అడిగినాను టక్కని చెప్పనంతటి అనుభవము కలదని.
So a few people say that they have understood, they have memorized the entire Gita, and that if from any adhyaya, any chapter, any verse, they can quickly repeat that shloka or verse, is what they say.
దీన్ని విన్న ఇట్టి పాండిత్యము చూచిన నాకు నవ్వు వచ్చును.
If I listen to this, or if I see such scholarship, I get, I am laughing. I get laughter.
అనుభవమున అణుమాత్రము లేక అంతయు కంఠస్థము వచ్చునుగా కంఠమునకు బాధ తప్ప మరి ఏమి ఫలితం ఉండదు.
If there's not an iota of experience, if everything is memorized, there's only trouble for the throat. There is no other result or benefit from that.
అందుచే గ్రామ్ఫోన్ ప్లేట్లు వలె వీరు ఒక ప్లేట్ అని చెప్పవచ్చును.
So they can be equated with the plates on a gramophone record.
ప్లేటుకి ఎంత ఫలమో కంఠస్థము చేసిన వారికి అంతే ఫలం.
The degree of benefit which the plate gets is the same extent of benefit which people who memorize it get.
ఇన్ని శ్లోకములు కంఠస్థము రాకపోయినాను ఒక్క శ్లోకమును ఆచరణలో ఉంచిన అట్టివారు ధన్యులు.
Even if they cannot memorize all the shlokas, if that's not possible, they are incapable, even if they take one verse and put it into practice, such people are blessed.
అర్జునుడు కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ చెప్పిన ప్రతి పదమును అనుభవమున నిరూపించినాడు.
Arjuna proved every single word of Sri Krishna in an experiential way.
అందుకే కృష్ణుని అనుగ్రహమునకు పాత్రుడైనాడు.
Due to that, he received the grace of Krishna.
Yeah, that's it.
So when it says Arjuna proved every single word of Krishna, as in like he followed and then practiced and realized what Krishna said was true?
Every single word of Krishna was listened attentively by Arjuna, and Swami says he's practiced and experientially understood it. Because of that, he was able to receive the grace of Krishna. I think we can ask, he was just listening, he was not practicing, is something which we can say. But I think at some level, he was capable of experientially understanding every single word of Krishna, and he got changed by Krishna, because internally he was going through some sort of inquiry, and through that process, at the end of the discourse, he was a changed person and he was ready to fight, and so on. So I think that's what Swami is telling. But I think it also can mean that even in the past, he had been listening to Krishna and practicing whatever Krishna taught, and that may have brought him the grace which Krishna bestowed on him by teaching him the Geetha on the battlefield. So I think it is not only at that point, but I think he had a track record of listening to Krishna and practicing what Krishna told.
Yeah.
Because the reality is Krishna was teaching, Krishna was always teaching. Not only on the battlefield, this battlefield is in a summary or everything which Krishna taught to Arjuna. So Krishna had been teaching, and I think Arjuna had been a obedient student. I think this was mentioned sometime earlier also. Swami is telling, I think in the second chapter of Geetha Vahini, I think Swami is telling that Krishna said, you are my dearest friend and dearest devotee. So that means Arjuna had a track record of listening and practicing what Krishna taught. So if everyone is okay, maybe we can move on, if it's okay, unless.
Sorry, just to go back to the about the prachadaks and how so money should never be involved in spirituality, that there should never be like any fee or anything like that.
Which section is it?
It's, when we were I think it's a previous chapter when we
Previous chapter. Okay.
so just one more follow-up question about that. Like, so in the Sai Center, like if we have any event, then we shouldn't charge any fee, even if it's a nominal fee or like something very small. Because I know in the past and there was sometimes fees for like conferences and things like that, retreats or things like that.
See, the thing is, there are two ways of looking at it, I think. One is if there are costs involved in organizing something. Again, it should not be a fixed fee for everyone. There can be contributions by people voluntarily. I think Swami has spoken quite a bit about this. He says no one should be asked to pay a fee. People can be told that this is the extent of expense, and people can voluntarily, on their own volition, contribute, because the reality is to defray the expenses, money is needed. But no one should be charging fees for coming and talking or giving anything. So I think there are two aspects, So one is, as a family, we have expenses at home also. We pool in and we defray the cost. I think that is okay, but it should not be, everyone should not be given a particular fee which they have to pay out. I think that's the appropriate way to address this, because I think that way financial need or or lack of financial affordability should not deprive anyone of benefiting from any spiritual activity. So this is the principle in which Bhakti itself runs. Everyone is welcome to just come, attend bhajans, do anything. There's no set fees for anyone for any of the spiritual activities. That's a reality, and people donate money. And I think people say, okay, why is the canteen charging food? So I think that's for food. For spiritual food, you don't pay. For physical food, you pay. But that's also highly subsidized, depending on the amount of money available. People who have donated, so that it's defrayed. And that's why I think that's a reality. But for a spiritual activity, no fee is charged. If you want to go and do meditation, if you want to attend bhajan, if you want to listen to the discourse, no money is charged. But then people say, oh, what about the bookstall? Books are sold. They are not sold for a profit. It is just the printing cost which is charged. Otherwise, if the people don't want to buy it, they can go to the library and read. So I think that's the way it functions in life.
So like if you are organizing like some retreat or something, you can say this is a suggested fee or
we
something.
can say this is the cost per head. Maybe that's something which people can be shared.
Okay.
But there should not be, as part of registration, we should not ask, okay, where is your contribution? I think that's the most appropriate thing. It's a spirit of it, actually, and no one should say, oh, that person did not pay the fees, so why is he attending? That kind of question should not be asked. That's the way. Otherwise, it taints the situation. I know in the past there have been conferences, fees charged, and things like that, which is completely against what Swami would say. And Swami has spoken very much about this, actually. Swami says, a few people who can afford, otherwise we should not start an activity if we don't have the funds. He's very, very clear about it. Whether it's a seva activity or any activity, if we don't have the funds, we should not start the project. Because then you are always going and asking people to shell out money. That's reality. And as we can see, wherever institutions are built like that, there are lots of negativity which comes along with that also, and it poisons the organization itself. That happens. And I think the reason Swami is mentioning this is, including Sai devotees, we will say, oh, that some meditation retreat we paid and went, somebody is organizing, and we think we will. Swami is saying, if you are going like that, you will not get any spiritual benefit. That's ultimately the thing is, people can justify giving any reason to charge money like that. But Swami says, if you are Vinuvar, people who are listening, who are the listeners, if you all don't question, then that is your problem. Because we will not benefit from someone who has not experientially understood that. It may be just like any other event, any other talk. There won't be any spiritual benefit, is what Swami is saying. What we may get out of that also is scholarship. We also can, talk about it, and but there won't be real spiritual benefit, is what Swami says.
Okay.
Okay. There's a nice term in Sanskrit called Shrotriya. Even to listen, even to be able to tell, somebody should have some qualification. Otherwise, the mantra, even if they initiate, it will not have any validity, because if they have not practiced it, no good will come out of it.
Yeah. Shrotriya and Brahmanishta. Shrotriya, who has learned, who has scholarship in Shruti knowledge, Shrotriya. And Brahman, who is established in Brahman.
Brother, in the previous paragraph, the pracharakas, whatever they are saying, we have to question about their bona fides. That's one is, I always think, for that also, if you have the knowledge only, you will question. So beforehand, if you pray to the Lord will guide you, then you will understand, then you will know whether that person is saying right or not. So that is something, not everyone can just, you go to a place and just question is, that's, I don't think that's what Swami is referring, right? You don't question. If you have no knowledge, what is the question? There's nothing to question, right? You will listen. So you have to have a knowledge.
So that's a good question. So how do we evaluate a pracharaka? I think that's the question.
Mm-hmm.
And what you are saying is, don't question, you just pray and Swami will guide. Swami will say, you go to a restaurant, will you eat anything which they give you? Even if it is not cooked well, if it is, if the practice in that hotel or restaurant is questionable, so there is some level of due diligence everyone has to do. I think this Swami has covered in Sandeha Nivarani, I think chapter 2 in Sandeha Nivarani, where somebody is saying, Swami, I went to a guru, he came, he gave me a mantra diksha, and then later I found out that he is not good. Then Swami said, first of all, you accepted the mantra of him, that is a mistake. Now you are questioning the mantra, then that is second problem. Swami has already spoken. So the thing is, see, everyone will say, oh, I pray to Swami, Swami has guided. And Swami will say, you have some common sense also you have to use. So I think then the question is, how do we evaluate the pracharaka? I think we have to go and see who the person is, how they lead their life, what is their life, what do they do every day. Only then, that's the only way you can evaluate the qualification of a pracharaka. But nowadays, we just YouTube, somebody somewhere said, and we will listen for hours. We are just, unfortunately, we just give away our time to these people. Hours. But the thing is, we will say, oh, Swami has shown me, I am listening. Swami will say, what about the buddhi which I gave? Are you using it? So I think discrimination is something which we have to do. This is not judging. This is inquiring whether the person from whom we are listening is the person, as Swami said, are they experiencing bliss in their own life by practicing what I have taught? So I think, so Swami is expecting that we have to ask these questions. Otherwise, Swami will say, you go and read a book. That is much better than going and listening to somebody, a pracharaka. So I think there's a responsibility for everyone to go and ask, because there are so many people, go after so many people in this world. You know, you go, someone will say, I am able to channel Shirdi Sai Baba, I am able to channel this, and they go, you know, again and again they go, without full understanding, without even questioning. And it's because, for example, if somebody says I am channeling Shirdi Sai Baba, for example, we should know, have you ever seen Shirdi Sai, first of all? Then there are people who say, oh, that person is also teaching what Swami taught. This is also another argument many people give. Have we understood what Swami taught to even state that that person is also teaching what Swami taught? That means I have already understood what Swami has said. Okay, if I have already understood Swami, then why should I go and listen to somebody else? My job is to practice by then. So I think these are sometimes arguments which we give ourselves. And Swami is, see, again and again, Swami wants us, whatever you do a thorough analysis, understand what is right, what is wrong, question yourself, don't use the common sense which I have given, use the discrimination. I think these are things which Swami says. This is not to belittle somebody else. It is to know a spade for a spade. You know, that's all it is. Sorry, I hope I didn't talk too much.
Brother, God grace, I can talk to myself. I didn't come across I didn't go to a person like that. But with the Swami's grace, I came into Swami's fold, right? That's all I know, right? But for others, that's why I'm questioning myself. Why we have to, where this evaluation is coming. When you pray to God, there's always guidance is there, grace is there to see the right person. That's why I'm trying to say why we want to, if you have a real faith on God, that won't be there kind of. But Swami says that discrimination power to be used for in all circumstances. That's fine. After we are come to know Swami, anybody says anything, we know what is he saying. That is the, after that knowledge only, that discrimination comes kind of only. I'm thinking. Thank you, Saya.
Sorry, sister, because the thing is, even after coming to Swami, have we made effort to understand and have we made effort to put it into practice? Two things. Number two, okay. Then once you have come to Swami, if we are going looking elsewhere for knowledge, then that's also questionable. That means we are neither benefited from here or not benefiting from somewhere else. So the thing is, why Swami is telling this is to warn us that this is a tendency we all can fall into. Number one, are we practicing? We have to practice. That Swami is very, very clear. Vinuvaru acharinchakunnaru means, that means we are not practicing. So Swami says, if you have listened, practice. Then there are so many people who come to Swami and say they have listened to so much. But if they have not practiced, then they will also mislead themselves and they will also mislead so many others. And I think that's what Swami, I think that is the reason for Swami to tell this.
Okay. I
because even if we go, and many people say, oh, I'm going to, in the mission of Swami, I want to take his message to the world. Swami will say, oh, you are turning out to be another pracharaka. I think, see, that what Swami says has multiple levels of meaning, and I think each of us have to understand before we take the message to anyone else in this world. I think we have to practice. I think that's, I'm just trying to understand what Swami has told sister here, because Swami has asked us to do something.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, we have to clearly understand what Swami wants us to do. I think Swami wants us to, before we tell anyone Swami has said this, Swami says, you practice it. I think that's, in our own way, we all try to be pracharaka. I think I'm talking, I think it's for me. So, Sai Ram, sister. Yes, Sister Narmada, I think you have been waiting with your hand raised.
No, it's along the lines of Auntie said. Last week, Anna, we talked about Swami Vivekananda questioning Swami Ramakrishna, right? Sri Ramakrishna, have you seen Kali? And I think before that, he had actually gone to other gurus, or like he was listening to others. And then when he met Ramakrishna, no one answered that question. Only Ramakrishna said that, yes, I have seen. So in that sense, going along the line, that shows that he is actually talking about something that he has seen. And Sri Ramakrishna himself, he had practiced Muslim, he was a practiced Hindu, he was a practiced, he actually practiced everything to understand, right? So along the line, how do we ask such, like if like we are here with Swami, so we don't have to question. But then sometimes when someone is talking about it, like how do we question? Because you might come across as very arrogant or asking, usually we don't question when someone is saying something. So I think that is where Aruna Aunty is asking also in that line. So how do we say, I mean, not now, in generations to come, because we had the benefit of, seeing Swami in person and all that, like down the line, let's say for my kids or somebody, because they don't know, right? So how do they, because they listen when someone is saying, this is what Swami said, this is what Swami said. How can they question that? Maybe that's my question, if I'm making any sense here.
Yes, uncle, please go ahead.
The answer for those queries, if Swami said this is what it is, there's no need to question that.
Of course.
If you go, that means if it was, again, Siddhi Baba used to get mad at people, you're going asking this fellow and that fellow. So Swami is, whatever Swami is saying is with Vedavaka. So there is nothing to question after that.
I understand, uncle, because Swami said that, right? But nowadays, along what Anna said, like, for children who are growing right now, who have never seen Swami, someone come and tell us, this is what Swami said. But we don't know if that's what exactly Swami said, because they didn't really listen to it, unless you listen to the discourses and all that. That's different, right? So in that sense, children may have this, they could follow the wrong person who's representing Swami. That's where I'm asking, how do they question that?
A very good question, sister. My understanding is, anyone in the future who come into Swami's fold in any way, they will only come into Swami's fold from where they left off in their previous birth. So for example, let's not worry about our children, okay, who have not seen. We don't know where they were before. But the fact, if they have they're born into a family which is part of Swami's world, that means in some way they were connected to Swami in the previous life. So let's forget the children. Let's say we die. Maybe a few. I think I only think about myself. Then I don't think I will be liberated. So I will be born again. So I tell myself, if I do the homework today, and if I cultivate some level of faith in Swami, when I am born, that knowledge, that work, spiritual work, which we have all put in, will come with us. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Which is again, is what Swami has said. You leave it to me, I will look after you wherever. This is what Geetha Krishna is telling. If you have done all the good work, you will be born in circumstances and in families where you can continue your sadhana. Okay, that's the number one. Number two, our children are here in front of us today. So we all should become good pracharakas. That means pracharakas who practice and experience Ananda, and they may or not benefit. That doesn't, that's not in our hands. But I think we all should strive to be good pracharakas by practicing. Then the second question, we should ask is, so how do we, there are people who we listen to. Okay, for example, people say, I am also Swami devotee, Sai devotee, I am also, you understand? then we need to see what is the degree of humility such people exhibit by being part of what Swami has established as, in this case, organization, I would say. Okay, individually it's out of the picture. If people want to do whatever they want to do, but if somebody is portraying themselves as being, some great devotee of Swami, I would say the first qualification of that person is how humble that person is to be part of the system which Swami has established. Otherwise, everyone out of the blue, they will come and say, you come, I will teach what Sai Baba has taught, because that means they are what they call independent people, neutral people, or whatever you want to call. They think they don't need anyone's help. They have direct connection to Sai Baba, and everyone can come and benefit from them. And I think that's a very wrong thing which many people are doing in this world today. Hundreds and thousands are there in the world who do this, and I think we should be wary of them, because I think you yourself used the word, arrogance or whatever. They will think they don't need any system. They set the rules and they do what they think they should do. At the individual capacity, I think it's okay, but I think Swami is just warning us. Just be wary of this. When Swami is there, let us have one-to-one with him. Let's read his word. Let's come together, maybe discuss, and ultimately seek Swami's guidance. And I think that's what it is. I think that's the reason Swami is just warning, because there are people who can do anything. Okay, I hope I answered your question. Again, this is this. I've also thought about it so much, so I thought I would just share. Saira.
Thank you, Anasar. Dasan uncle is also.
Okay, brother Dasan, please go.
Yeah, Sairam, brother. So first of all, we have to understand what the auntie mentioned last week about the Pariprasanna. Not everyone's going to be in the Sai Center. So even the person in the Sai Center, we are only few people are with the study circle. So we should do our homework too. We have to ask our questions in the motivation of our spiritual uplift. If we have any doubts, we should not have the aim to put the teacher in a wrong position or testing his knowledge. You have to ask the question, benefit for yourself and others. So some teachers, they just memorize, they can ask even, they can repeat that Geetha without any mistakes. That means they are not practicing. When you ask questions only, you can find out. So what we are expecting, easily you can identify. It has to come from the heart. Whatever he preach, it has to come from the heart. Swami saying, if it doesn't come from the heart, means it's like a tape record. Because tape record is repeating all the time, even mantras and everything. It is not going to transform into moksha. So in way, these people, without coming from the heart, if they repeat nicely and sweet words and everything, they are not going to be transformed the people. At the same time, they also not going to liberate it. That's what in study circle, we are in study in circle. We are asking questions to understand, and eventually everyone put their different angle, better for us to understand. This is my understanding, brother. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Sairam Sakwanti, please go ahead.
Sairam to you and Dasan for giving us a very clear understanding. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Sairam.
Sairam uncle.
I think we should thank Swami. Okay, please go ahead, Kalyani.
In the Telugu, you were mentioning something about those who listen do not practice, but in the English it says those who listen are neglecting to question the bona fides. Is that questioning part also there in the Telugu?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So I will go back, I think, which is what I think I was saying. So Swami says, సరే చెప్పువారే మాత్రము ఈ గీతా ధర్మమును అనుభవ రూపమున ఆనందిచున్నారా అని ఒక్కరైనా విచారించుకున్నారు. So that means Swami says, no one, not a single person is questioning or inquiring whether the people who are expounding the Gita have experienced bliss through the practice of the teachings of the Gita. So I think no one is asking this question. Okay. That means by that statement, Swami is saying people should ask the question.
Ask.
It's an implied action. If Swami says if people who are supposed to do this are not doing this, that means if somebody has to inquire whether the pracharakas are experiencing bliss through the practice of the teachings of the Lord. I think that's Swami's statement.
Only that at that stage, I think I told Pariprashnena Sevaya. Shirdi Baba says, you have to clear your doubts, not to question the scholarship of that person who is expounding Gita, but you can clear your doubts, clarify your doubts by asking with humility. That's what Swami Shirdi Baba says. So here also, I think the same thing what Swami is doing.
Yeah, I think that is, yeah, I think, Auntie, that also can be, once you identify a guru,
of course.
Once you identify this, I think this is prior to that, I feel, because this is what Swami is telling in Sandhya Nivarni. You have to evaluate whether this teacher is worth me following, number one. I think once you go there, and I think Pranipatena, Pariprashnena,
yeah, correct.
So you have to bow down to the person, then you have to ask appropriate question to elucidate answers to question, which is what Arjuna is doing here. He's keeping on doing Pariprashna.
This situation comes only after the guru is chosen.
Chosen, exactly.
But before that, if a person goes to this guru, that guru, he himself can find out from his discrimination that this guru, what he is saying is really, but once we come to Swami, there's no doubt that we have to go to this guru and that guru. But those people who really in search of real guru, they may find that it's not possible for them to find out who really is. Evaluate the guru. Sairam.
Sairam, thank you, Auntie. So Kalyani, is the question okay? Answered yes. Swami is saying people are not questioning, they are not inquiring. That means we should inquire. I think that's the way to take it.
Next.
Yeah, that's what say. Prachakar also neglecting to question the bona fide. So that has been translated right into English.
Sairam.
Sairam, Sai Sathya.
So I think just that dictum of Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam itself captures in terms of the earnestness, the sincerity, the humility, the dedication, the perseverance with which that question is asked, because it should be asked with that kind of an intensity, even whether it is prior to finding a guru or after finding a guru, it should be asked with that kind of, because I think ultimately, even though the guru guides from outside, the wisdom dawns on the inside. So in terms of that search, so even if it's a pracharaka or a guru on the outside, ultimately we take that and make it a part of our insight. So I think that is where, even when Sister Narmada was asking, when children in the future ask about questions connected to Swami, I think, of course, a lot will come with the approach, because it is in the approach that is taken that the answer is found, the approach which the question is asked. So it will come down to, and many of them will pose the question more on the lines of having observed their parents, having observed their teachers, having observed their surroundings, which is why the question is coming. So I think when the answer to that question is given, it's the responsibility of the person giving that answer to take all of that into account and then give the thing, because we'll also have to know at what stage the person is when they are receiving that answer based on the question that is asked. So yes, it involves, it's a layered approach. It's like no one shoe fits all kind of a situation.
Thank you, Sai Sathya. Just to comment in addition to that, the reality is, if you take Krishna, during Krishna Avatara, the gopis were great devotees. Other than the gopis, there were very few people who were great devotees of Krishna. The greatest devotees all came afterwards, many centuries later. To that extent, it is also believed that Meera was one of the gopikas who was not having that much devotion to Krishna. There's that some people say, but the thing is, the seed which was planted then grew and grew and grew, and when she was born as Meera, it just blossomed in its fullness. So that means we don't have to worry about future generations. They will, there may be greater devotees of Swami who will follow him, and greatest pracharakas will be there, gurus will be there who will guide them. But ultimately, the sincere seeker will find a sincere guru. That's my belief. Okay, so then we can move on, if it's okay.
The teachings of the Gita do not get the respect that the book gets. Thousands of people, when they see the sacred books, Gita, Ramayana, Bhagavata, Mahabharata, etc., bow their heads, press them to their eyes, place them in their heads, keep them on a special seat in the shrine, and reverentially placing a few flowers on them, they sit with closed eyes and with teardrops rolling down their cheeks, fall prostrate before the books, and rise very much satisfied with themselves. All that reverence is for the stack of paper, really, not for the contents of the books, the subjects they deal with. What the head must carry is not the weight of the paper, but the message explained thereon. Attach value not to the book, but to the subject. Revere not the volume, but the matter expounded therein. Install it not on the altar, but in the heart. For it is only then that the authority of the Gita will be honored steadily at all times. The mind will not be cleansed of egoism or like evils by all this outward reverence, learning by rote, offering worship in the shrine room, holding on the head, pressing on the eyes, etc. Let the message enter the heart, put it into practice, and taste the joy that comes therefrom. That is the way of honoring the Gita.
I'm so sorry. I skipped a slide, Nirmata. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought
that I was listening to the correct.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
That even Leonard Pandit.
No, we went to the next slide, right? Yeah.
Next page she went.
Okay. It is a pity that even extremely learned pundits at the present time are unaware of the thrill of putting into practice a single word of the Gita. What then are we say of the unlearned, the ignorant? In short, even some very reputed exponents of the Gita are playing false to its teaching, acting contrary to the message. To the song of the Lord, each one adds a fancy note of his own to demonstrate his special twist in scholarship or his favorite predilection. Let us consider the example of this type. The 10th verse of the 6th chapter of the Gita declares that parigrata, accepting help from others, is a great sin. Now, those who accept the Gita as authority should act accordingly, avoiding parigraha. Isn't it not? Parigraha means accepting, even for the upkeep of the body and the maintenance of dharma. These pracharaks, however, do accept 99% of them. The condemnation of parigraha applies to all forms. There are no modifying circumstances or exceptions. Yet collections and contributions are asked for Geetha Yajnas, Geetha expositions of sharing knowledge, as offering during Harhati, as expenses of Geetha Pracharaka Sanghas, communities, as Nazar or Kanuka remuneration for Guru. Lectures are sold for tickets as entertainment, like drama and cinema is sold. People who do this have no faith in the words of Krishna. For had they the faith, they would not have behaved in such contrary ways. If they were convinced that it is wrong, they would not be tempted to act so. They explain the shloka and feel that their duty is done. They do not feel the need to follow the advice. That is the spirit of the times. For this is the age of hypocrisy. People who watch this type of Geetha Prachara lose faith first in the Pracharak and later in the Geetha itself. The publicity dissolves into mere pomp and vanity.
Thank you, sister.
Can we do the Telugu too?
Yes, okay, sure.
ఈనాడు మహాపండితులను వారు కూడా ఒక పదమునైనను ఆచరణయందు అనుభవించుకున్నారు.
Today, even great pandits, they are also not practicing even a single word of the Gita.
ఇక పామరుల సంగతులు ఎందుకు?
Then what would be the state of people who are not learned, illiterate?
ఒక్క మాటలో చెప్పవలనన్నా నేడు గొప్ప గొప్ప పేరు ప్రఖ్యాతులు తగిలించుకొని ఎవరు గీతోపన్యాసకులని తిరుగుచున్నారో అట్టి వారు కూడాను గీతకు విరుద్ధముగా ప్రవర్తించుచున్నారు.
In one word, if it has to be stated, today even great pracharakas who have gotten great name as a great pracharakas or exponents of Gita, they are roaming around everywhere. Such people, they are actually doing more damage, or they are behaving exactly opposite to what's taught in the Gita.
భగవద్గీతకు గీతలు గీయుచు ఎవరికి వారు వారి బుద్ధి కుశలతమును భగవద్గీతకు అంటించుచున్నారు.
Okay. Swati, in the version which I have, it says Bhagavad Gita ku Geetalu Giyichu. Evariki varu vari buddhi kushalatanu Bhagavad-Gitaku Vidya kushalatanu ప్రదర్శించుచు వారి భావ గీతలను భగవద్గీతలకు అందించుచున్నారు. What Swami is saying is, they sing songs on Gita, and according to their own intelligence or understanding, or according to their own level of knowledge, they exhibit them, and their own bhavas, their own feelings are being applied to the Bhagavad Gita itself.
Here, when Swami says Geetalu Giyichu means singing of the Gita, no?
Okay, yeah. No, Swami is saying Bhagavad Gita ku Geetalu Giyichu.
Oh, Geetalu Giyichu. That means underlining them.
Yeah, oh, I see. Okay.
Geetalu ante lines.
Oh, lines, okay.
Lines underline chestu evariki varu aa buddhi kushalathamanu
Bhagavad-Gita. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you.
And then one more word is there. Machunaku okati vinudu. Machunaku means at the end.
Yeah, that's so. Last sentence is Machunaku okati vinudu. That means listen to one thing,
One more thing.
One more thing, yes.
Machu actually means, when it's an extra drop of something which they give, as the seller gives to us. It's machunuku తీసుకోండి.
Oh,
I think
sample.
You have purchased everything, whatever you want. He gives
Okay.
some discount like thing. Or it,
The Swami is giving us a complimentary item.
yeah,
Something complimentary. He's saying, I will give you something more complimentary.
something extra for you.
Extra.
గీత 6వ అధ్యాయమున 10వ శ్లోకమున పరిగ్రహము మహాపాపమని తెలిపినది.
So in the Gita, in the 6th chapter, in the 10th verse, parigraha, which is accepting anything from anyone, has been stated as a great sin.
నిజముగా గీతను ప్రమాణముగా విశ్వసించిన వారు దానిని ఆచరించవలెను కదా.
So if in reality people who take Gita as the measure of practice, if they believe that, they shouldn't they practice?
లేదు, ఈనాడు గీతా ప్రచారకులలో 99 మంది పరిగ్రహించుతున్నారు.
Today, among all the Gita exponents, 99 out of 100 are always accepting.
And that's all. పరిగ్రహము ఏ రూపమున కాని అంగీకరించరాదు.
This acceptance of any form cannot be accepted. Is sanctioned.
పరిగ్రహమునకు హద్దు లేదు.
There is no limit for parigraha.
గీతా యజ్ఞమని, హారతి దక్షిణ అని, ప్రచార సంఘముల యొక్క ఖర్చులని, గురు కానుకలని ఎన్నో పేర్లు.
So this is Gita Yajna. There is dakshina for the arati, or for the society of the pracharakas. There is expenses related to that. There is fees for the guru, or donations for the guru. There are many names given to this.
ఇది కృష్ణుడు చెప్పలేదే.
This has not been stated by Krishna.
టికెట్లు తీసుకుని డ్రామా సినిమాలకు వెళ్ళినట్లు నేడు గీతా ఉపన్యాసములనిచ్చి దక్షిణ అను పేరుతో ఉపన్యాసములు అమ్ముచున్నారు.
Just like you buy a ticket and attend a drama or cinema, in the same way, today for Gita Upanyasa, Gita lectures, they are asking for donations, or Guru Dakshina. In such names, they are selling the expositions of Gita itself.
Tickets are sold. గీతా ఉపన్యాసం దక్షిణ అను పేరుతో ఉపన్యాసములు అమ్ముచున్నారు. ఇట్టి వారికి నిజముగా కృష్ణుని పవిత్ర వాక్కుల పైన విశ్వాసం ఉండినా విరుద్ధముగా ఎందుకు నడుతురు?
Such people, in reality, if they have faith in the words of Krishna, the divine words of Krishna, why would they behave in a contrary manner?
ఇది దోషమని తెలిసి ఉండిన వారే ఎందుకు చేతురు?
When they know that this is faulty, then why would they undertake such actions?
బహుశా కలిలో చెప్పే వాళ్ళకు దోషం ఉండదేమో.
Auntie, bahasha means what, auntie?
Probably. Bahusha.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay, bahasha.
Kali cheppu, kalilo. In Kaliyuga.
So it must be because of the Kali age, the defects of the Kali age.
Yeah. ఇట్టి ఆచరణ రూపము లేని ప్రచారముల ద్వారా నిదానముగా ప్రమాదము తెప్పించి కడకు అవిశ్వాసమునకు గురి చేతురు.
So in this kind of behavior and actions, they are gradually they bring about. Auntie, go ahead.
ప్రచారముల ద్వారా
in this kind of exposition of Gita, slowly they bring great calamity and they also bring about disbelief or lack of faith.
కేవలము ఆడంబర ప్రచారముగా రూపుదాల్చుచున్నది నేటి గీతా ప్రచారము.
Merely as a pompous show, that's how the expositions of Gita have taken shape.
Yeah, Sairam.
In the English, it was saying parigraha is a sin even for accepting even for the upkeep of the body and the maintenance of dharma. But I didn't.
Swami has not mentioned anything. He says, period. Don't accept, period.
Yeah.
Sin of no qualification mentioned by Swami. He didn't say even for this. Swami just said acceptance is bad. I think many people don't like this aparigraha.
That 6th chapter 10th verse, yogi yunjita sattam atmanam rahasi stitaha ekaki yata chittatma nirashir aparigraha. Nirashir aparigraha.
Yes, Auntie, you have put your hand.
Yes, Sairam, the gurus also should not accept, and even the disciples should not give any parigraha because it will sound like trying to win him. Is that so?
I think disciples can always look after the Guru's sister, Auntie.
What?
You know, disciples have to look after the Guru.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
In what way?
Pardon?
In what way?
In what way?
I think your question is, should we give anything to the Guru at all?
Yeah.
I think that's the question.
Is there any other way?
I think, see, we should understand the way Swami has explained this. Before you learn anything, you are supposed to give in advance. See, Guru Dakshina is usually after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, if you have benefited from the Guru, you can always express your gratitude to the Guru. Also, look after their welfare also, if they have to be fed, they have to be fed. That doesn't mean, they are charging a fee. See, the tradition is the Guru will not say, I want this dish, can you bring for me?
No.
You are, whatever is given, for the upkeep of the body, they will take.
Okay.
Okay, Deha Bhikshanam, Deha Dakshartam. Just to maintain the body, they can eat anything.
Thank you.
Okay. And I think it is the bounden duty of the disciples to make sure that the welfare of the Guru is.
Yes.
That is true.
But it's not said like that here, right? It's saying even for the upkeeping of the body.
No, sister, you're going back to the English translation.
English is wrong. Swami hasn't.
Swami has not said. Don't accept.
Saramana, the parigraha here, is it in what context is it meant? Is it Auntie asked about Guru and Sishya in that relationship, or is it in general for anyone?
Okay,
it's for anyone, right? Not just the Guru. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
See, the word parigraha itself, I think we have to understand what the word parigraha is. Acceptance is not a very good translation. Graha means you collect everything and store for future.
Yeah.
So, for example, accumulation is what I would say parigraha. For example, that somebody is hungry, you serve them food, they will eat, and that is not parigraha. But if I say, give me some vegetables and grains, I will take it home and store, that is parigraha. That means you are collecting and you are holding it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a form of accumulation. Okay, so acceptance is a very very rough translation of the word parigraha. Means grab. Parigraha means grabbing everything. So the thing is, see, all of us are accumulating. We want, we put it in the bank, we will put it in the storage room. A sannyasi, Geetha Prachakara should not do that.
Aparigraha mean?
What is
Pardon?
it?
Aparigraha mean?
Opposite of that. That's the
Not-
quality of aparigraha is the quality which everyone should cultivate.
Okay.
Parigraha, when it doesn't exist, that's aparigraha. So everyone should practice aparigraha. So that means we should not collect and store. Okay, if you're hungry, it's lunchtime, everyone sits down, Guru is also Guru, you sit down, you serve him food, he will eat, done. So generally what happens is if you go to India for great sages, they will sit, if people bring fruits and things like that, it will be all left in front. Okay, anyone comes, Guru will take from that and give it away.
Yeah.
They will not hold anything for themselves. So that everything is squared that day. Okay, so so it's a very parigraha means accepting things unnecessarily so that you can store things. I think that kind of meaning comes through.
Yeah. And by accepting, our anxieties in saving it and holding it and protecting it all will come. So Swami here is saying, first of all, the parigraha, accepting itself is wrong.
But Swami has spoken about it. Whatever you can do by yourself, don't accept from anyone. Okay, if that means you already have the resources for that, so then you should not accept. So that is the theory. If you can do some work by yourself, do it. You don't ask somebody else's help to do it. You have to be self-reliant. So that is also aparigraha.
Sairam. One clarification.
Yes.
Does it mean in general life, broad mean like if somebody is giving you a gift, you should not accept? Does it mean?
In Swami's terms, if you are in the spiritual life, everything is life except spiritual.
Okay.
Yeah. If somebody gives and if then I think we should do what the sannyasis would do. We take it to Salvation Army and give it away.
Go give it back to somebody.
Yeah, so it's giving it away. It means we don't hold it. Don't hold it. I think graha means to holding something.
But when we read the word parigraha means accepting, even for the upkeep of the body, it implies there is some monetary or any kind of thing which is offered to a person. There is an implied meaning there into accept some kind of monetary thing or in some other way, in kind, in cash or in kind. There's, that's like that. It implies that. Sorry.
I think the Swami has spoken about this actually. I think there is some discourse where Swami says someone should not accept anything from anyone except their own parents.
Right.
Okay, there is one nice discourse Swami is telling students. Don't accept anything from anyone except your parents. Anyway, you are indebted to your parents, so it's okay, but don't go and demand stuff from your parents.
Yeah.
If at all you need anything, you can take from your parents. Not from anyone, not even your siblings, things like that, or your uncles, no one else. Is the strictest guideline Swami gives. Because otherwise ask God and God will make sure that you have it. So this is Swami's guidance. Because we increase rina, the debt to such people will increase.
Yeah.
That's the reason given.
And Anna, in a broader context also, I think not storing makes it like literally not looking at the future, but only being in the present.
Yes.
So, and by being in the present, it becomes literally like that Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasati, that previous sloka, that's the whole story. So it is just what is needed for me in the present. I only have that. I stay in the moment. I then go to the next moment. That is the present. Whatever is needed for that, I stay with that. So it's like literally not looking at the future or not looking at the past, just moment to moment. So that way, I think, yeah, literally it'll become aparigraha and all of that.
Transactions.
Nazar is also a Urdu word.
I know.
Kanuka. Kanuka. In Kannada also we say kanike. There's
Yes.
Telugu. It's a remuneration.
Tamil also we say kanikai.
Kanike. When we offer something to a guru or to God, we say kanike. We do samarpana of the kanike.
Sakku auntie?
Yes, thank you very much for clearing the whole doubt about parigraha. Thanks.
I think we may have had a discussion on this. I remember.
Yes, we had it in when we were doing something or something at that time.
I remember, we had an
Yes,
extensive
we
discussion
did
on parigraha.
with the Siva.
Yeah, this is revision.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a revision maybe. I could
But
remember.
you were talking, brother, before Miss Dasanana was there. So I'll leave it and I'll ask later.
What did you say, sister?
Raise the hand before me, so I'm just going to wait until.
Okay. You're waiting for your turn. Okay. Brother Dasan, please go ahead.
Yeah, Sairam, brother. Nowadays, the Kali Yuga, most of the people are believing the people as a guru. We have to give the respect as a teacher only. This guru means we have to think about Sadguru, because this teacher can only give some ideas and everything or limited knowledge only they have. They can put you in trouble. They can put you in trouble. You don't understand maybe 1 year or 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. But once you get the knowledge, you have to hold on to the Sadguru. He's the only one you have to understand. He's the only one, he can take you to the other side of the mundane of existence, not others. So, but nowadays, because if you want to go to a temple, you can go easily. If you want to go to Shirdi temple, you can go easily. But if you want to take someone to take Sai Center, it's not easy, because they have to follow the teaching and everything. Then only they can hold on to the Sai Centers, because you learn a lot of things over there. But I'm talking about other people. They give all their monies and everything. They think in a 1 day, 2 days, these people can give their knowledge or blessing or anything. They cannot do anything. You have to understand, they can, like a regular, whatever we are learning, they can teach only that one. Other than that, they cannot do any miracles or anything to uplift onto the spiritual life. Thank you.
Sairam, brother.
You were talking about the Guru Dakshina. How that works, brother? You said we can give Guru Dakshina?
The Guru Dakshina is supposed to be, after you learn something from the Guru, you are indebted to the Guru. You have a debt to the Guru because you have benefited. Okay, not because you listen to something, you should have benefited. And then you express that gratitude in the form of service to the Guru. As part of that, you express your gratitude in many ways, which is called Guru Dakshina. Okay, because you've received some benefit, you give. For the classic example is Ekalavya. Ekalavya prayed to Drona and learned archery. And when Drona came and asked, "Give me the thumb," he just cut and gave, because he felt he was indebted to Drona, so he gave whatever he asked. So it was an expression of gratitude, because he knows the benefit he has received through that discipleship. So he expresses it. That is called Guru Dakshina. But if Drona said, "Okay, I'm going to teach you, give me the thumb in advance," then that's a problem.
So, brother, this is something is confusing. Okay, when you are learning pracharakas, then they are not supposed to expect any money because they have to share the
Knowledge.
God's knowledge to others, right? No, without expectation. Now we are saying Guru Dakshina is okay. And in this one sentence, they're saying there are no modifying circumstances or exceptions. So that is the part is now these two things, where that Guru Dakshina stays, where that Guru Dakshina is allowed, I didn't understand. Those, because Guru, they are sharing the knowledge, right? Then in the previous paragraph, it said they shouldn't be expecting any money on. Right? But they are not expecting, but we are giving, that is okay. Okay, that's how.
No. See, okay, number one.
Yes.
I think what you are saying is, so how does, see, the thing is, as a disciple, we have to express gratitude.
Yes.
Okay. So the guru will sometimes ask that he doesn't need, he may say he doesn't need anything. Then that's fine. So guru will say, if you have learned from me, you just practice it. So real guru will not expect, number one. Number two, he will not expect something, okay, you are given me something, I am going to store it. He is not going to do that also. Okay. But if sometimes, if out of love for the disciple, he may accept something which somebody has given. But he is doing it not because he wanted it. Okay, I think there's a subtle difference, sister. But here, what Swami is saying, people charge a fee in advance and say it is Guru Dakshina.
Okay.
Okay, so that is that we need to know. Even see, you go to a temple, somebody does puja, and the arati plate comes. You give a small fee because the person did the puja.
Yes.
Okay, maybe $5 or something like that. Or, whatever you want to give, because after all, this he has spent some time. To that extent, you may support his family, upkeep. Okay, which is okay. But if he is going to make money out of it, then it's a problem.
So the intention of the person giver is not supposed to be there. The whoever recipient can give, kind of, right? Who benefit out of that can show the gratitude with it.
Gratitude.
Yeah. Thank you.
Actually,
Okay.
sorry. Dasan, go ahead, brother.
Yes, I am, brother. So this what some people have, even some miracle power. They're trying to sell that one, and the people believe that one. Even the message you mentioned before, the Ekalaiva and Dronacharya, even the Dronacharya didn't follow the parikrama because he wants money. That's the reason he joined in the Triyodayan side. So parikrama mean if the guru believe on the God, my God will take care of me. He should not believe the other people giving anything. The God will take care, because nowadays the people don't understand, even guru also don't understand because lack of knowledge. So parikrama mean not supposed to accept anything from the devotees. That's what Swami is mentioning here. Finally, thank you, brother.
Yes, Sairam, brother, just a comment. The problem, I think one of the biggest problem is many people think Swami is a miracle person. And, that is a fundamental flaw. And we think, the miracles are a sign of divinity. And, how many people who know that Swami has written and try to teach all this? Very, very few people. See, Swami called himself Satya Bodhaka. He has come to teach truth. What is truth to people? But the thing is, most people are amazed. They become Swami's devotees only because, he is doing some miracles and he may do for us. So what has happened because of that is there are many people who have started exhibiting these miracles, and people start following them. They say, if you go there, this is appearing. They are able to materialize. These miracles are happening, and they think it is the sign of Swami. And I think that's very sad. That is the saddest part, because they don't know what is the real value which Swami came to give.
Yes,
I think that is lost, and I think that is one of the reasons.
Yeah.
thank you, brother.
For this
Yes.
confusion. I think, Auntie, you wanted to say something.
Actually, in the first few years of Swami's life, Swami used to do lots of miracles because people were attracted by it, and large numbers of people joined Sai, this thing. But they have stopped with that. They have not come forward. Only Baba is miracle man. They think there and they have stopped it. Further, what Swami himself has declared, that my first few years will be only for it's a visiting card, Swami says. And then later on, what Swami message, Swami has started giving us message, we have not understood. People have stopped there itself, thinking that he's a miracle man. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you.
In the Telugu, did you read that in the name of Guru Dakshina, they're selling expositions of the Gita? Is that what
Swami is saying people are collecting money and they give different names.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And one of the names they give is Guru Dakshina.
Oh, okay.
Kanika, that's the word Swami is the word Kanika.
Guru Kanuka.
That means Guru Dakshina?
Yes. In advance, before you benefit also, you have to give.
Brother, that is
in advance.
Yeah. One is clear, the Guru Dakshina, Guru's not supposed to ask. The disciple has to give. Yes. That's how I get it. Dronacharya is asking for Guru Dakshina. That is wrong, right? That's why he end up with the story goes, right? Yes. But Guru not supposed to ask. Yes. The disciple has to feel it and give it.
In spite of him asking, Ekalavya gave without questioning. And that Ekalavya story is to show the greatness of Ekalavya.
Yeah, not Dronacharya. And one more word, this Harati in Telugu, they call it Harati. And most of the place Arati, A-R-A-T-H, Arati we do. This word Harati has got some special significance, I think, meaning we have come across this Harati. They said Harati. But I think in Tamil and Kannada, in other languages, it's Arati. Arati is not the word, I think, correct. Harati must be the correct word.
Yeah, I think in Telugu only Harati is used more.
Harati is used, yeah.
Maybe Telugu and Kannada, the other languages, they say Harati, but based on my research in Sanskrit, I couldn't find the word from Sanskrit. But we understand what it is, Karpura Niranjanam,
Nirajanam is the word, Telugu.
That is the word. That is the, but in colloquial, regional languages, this word has become very popular.
No, I thought if there is any special significant meaning in Harati has got.
It's in that same sentence, Swami's also as expenses for the Sangha, for the community. So even, I guess, so Swami's saying they might say, oh, we need this money. These are expenses. Is that what Swami's saying?
Yeah, I think it goes back to your question, no? Expenses, defraying the expenses. So the thing is, even if there are defraying expenses, you are not supposed to charge. I think that's the point. To run an organization, to run anything, there is money needed, no doubt. But the thing is, no one should ask for it. There should not be a request even, to ask money, and I think that's what Swami is very, very particular. There are many discourses Swami has spoken about. He says, if you don't have money, don't do anything. No problem. When you are having a bhajan, keep it as simple. No need of prasadam. Just vibhuti is good enough. If you don't have to have expensive garlands, if you just, and for that sake, you should not be asking money. If somebody has money and they want to purchase a garland and give it, that's okay. Out of love for Swami, not again as competition. They did something, so I am also doing something better. It should not be. The attitude is very, very important. And so Swami, sadhana, anything we do, sadhana or seva or whatever, the same thing applies. We can't take up a seva activity where 100 people are needed. Swami will say, why did you even start that? If only 2 of you are there, just do that. If 3 people come, you do more seva. If 4 people come, you do more seva. But then we should not ask, no one is coming for seva, we should not never say. We should go and do what we can. So I think that's why Swami says parigraha in many different ways. Many different, it's not only financial, even in other ways also it can be, parigraha. So we should do what we can do. If we can't do it, it's okay.
But Swami said not to ask, okay? But you can disclose the information, am I right or not?
What is the intention of disclosing, sister?
Because to give the information, how this place is running and all, I think it's okay to give.
If questions are asked, see, even disclosing, Swami will say only among your group share that information. For example, in a family setting, center means if it's the members, you can disclose. This is what's happening. Information sharing,
yes, information,
which is okay, but it's only, but the intention of sharing the information should not be with an ulterior expectation. I think that is very, very important. It's for the sake of transparency, we can share. But we should not think, if we say maybe people will contribute, then it's all wrong. I think it's all about intention.
For an example, okay, some of the
Yes.
people thought the centers are running with the government expenses. They are getting government funding.
Good for them.
Right? So for them to have that knowledge, and then they may think, right, differently, right?
Sister,
yes,
if anyone thinks like that, then they are deluding themselves in this world. If their reasonable common sense is there, I think things should be very, very clear to people. Sometimes people, if they are giving that explanation, they are giving that as an excuse so that they won't feel guilty that they are not supporting. This kind of excuse is just, they think they can fool themselves and they can fool others. Okay, so let's not even go there.
Okay, brother, thank you.
Sairam, Sister Kalyani, you have some.
So when we were like, for example, if somebody comes to register a new student in Balvikas, like if they ask, oh, like what's the cost of this program? Then could you say like it's free, but if you'd like to donate, you could donate, or like is even that much you should not do?
See, I think if somebody is asking, there's no harm in saying what are you can say, teachers out of their, I think, see, if somebody is asking this question, that means they don't have any knowledge. So for example, you should say all the teachers are volunteers who are sparing their time and coming and teaching. There are no real expenses, if at all. Just the building, maybe we have to maintain, or bills have to be paid. That's the only expense, but it's just being covered by voluntary donations. And I think that's good enough an explanation. So there we are just educating them what the mode of operation is. All the gurus are devoting their time free of cost. They bring their material. There are no costs associated with the teaching itself. If there are expenses, it is just we need the venue, and that is being covered by anyone who wishes to support. That's the way we are continuing our activity. I think that is just information sharing. And sometimes people say, how much are you spending? What is the cost? If they ask, if they have asked for the information, I don't think there is any harm in just sharing the information. But if we preemptively go and say, okay, this is the cost, then I think people like to get some satisfaction in supporting activities also. But I think our intention should not be, let's see how much we can get from others. I think so. It's a very subtle difference, I think, Kalyani.
Yes.
In life, there's always give and take. But the intentions of how we approach, I think, is very, very important. It's a very subtle thing. I think this all my interpretations. So what you take, what feels right to you. I would say I will open it up for others to share as well. Saira.
I just had one other question about the parigraha, how you said like when you think about storing whatever you get, that's when it becomes parigraha. So that means all of our, saving for future or for retirement or any kind of saving, that's considered parigraha?
Yes. Yes.
Brother, own money I'm saving. But how come it's a parigraha?
Own money, sister?
Yes, if I'm saving for myself,
Own. You said own money.
yes.
None of us came with any money when we were born, sister. See, this is,
Brother, I work for it.
see, if you go to CEO, he will also say he works and gets millions of dollars. The reality, I think one of the things which we all forget is whatever we think is ours actually belongs to the world. It is just that there's a big pie, it's like a cake. This entire world is like a cake. Okay. And so what happens? I jump and I grabbed a big piece. Okay. Because I was in the line front of the line or something like that. And then I say, no, I went and took, it's now my share. And I want to go and keep it for myself. But there's a huge lineup of people who are waiting for a small bite. That's the way this world is. So the thing is, ultimately we have faith in the money which we have, than faith in God. Which is again, we are going to Pracharaka. See, we think the Pracharaka didn't practice, but Swami has also made a statement, the people who listen should practice. They are also not practicing. It is not about the Pracharaka. I think at this point in time, if we are listening, are we practicing? I think it's a big question we have to ask ourselves. Nothing in this world belongs to us. Nothing. Because if you have, it's
Brother,
like,
you have come to the Geetha Charam, nothing. You have not bring anything. You have to leave it.
so if we are keeping excess, then it's a problem.
Yes.
It's a problem. We are hoarding. I think that's a reality. And I think which each of us have to ask.
Is it the same for like saving to buy a house? Or that all those things would be considered?
See, we have to live. I think we need to know how much of house we need, how much we need. I think there's a degree of, we need to draw the line somewhere. It's not be desire based. It should be need based. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Is my understanding. What you need, keep. I think we should not look for security in money or home or anything like that. I think we need whatever we need, no doubt. But I think it's something which I think all of us have to see. How that's why Swami said ceiling on desires. That's why Swami brought up the topic of ceiling on desires. He says have a ceiling. There's no harm in having some desires, but have a ceiling. So I think it applies to money also. This is my understanding. I think the real sannyasis just gave away everything. So until then, we can't delude ourselves that we are sannyasis. I think that, sorry. Okay. Yes, Brother Dasan.
Yes,
I think we're going past
brother.
the time.
According to your talk, so parikrama mean no attachment, no desire. If you are looking for a real spiritual teacher and a guru, yeah. Thank you, brother.
I think we have a long way to go. I think that's all realities. But sometimes some of the decisions are not our own. We live in a family, we will in society, community. So many people have their input. But I think at some level, cultivating a state of love for only the Lord, He is the one who will look after, not money which will look after us. We may think we put it in some stock, that stock may become valueless tomorrow. We put it in a bank, the bank may go bankrupt. Belly up. There are people who have built homes, they were just bombed and gone away, or natural disasters, everything vanished. So in this world, nothing is impermanent. Only the Lord we have to rely on, and He will take care.
Thank you.
I think that is ultimately, I think, let's practice. Forget the pracharakas. I think that is the message for all of us.
applies to us.
Yes, I think with that we'll close. Actually, we have gone past the time.
Yeah.
Okay, we can continue. It's an interesting topic. Sai Ram. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sai Ram,
Sai
everyone.
Sai Ram.
Sai
Thank you.